Noah is the hero of the deluge. The Torah relates that at a certain point in the history of humanity, God decided to destroy the world. He sent a deluge and the entire world was inundated. Everything died in the world except for Noah and his immediate family. The idea was to start a new humanity with the descendants of Noah that God considered a tzaddik. That means a just man in his generation, according to the Torah. Our interpreters say, well, this Noah was just in his generation. When you compare him with what the others did in his generation, well, he deserves to be called a tzaddik because he wasn't influenced by the bad behavior of the rest. He overcame it. But they say, however, that is only compared to those in his generation. But had he lived at the time of Abraham, maybe he wouldn't have been considered as just because Abraham was of another level of justice, of righteousness than Noah. Why do they say that? Maybe we can look into what they did after this catastrophic event. What did Noah do after the deluge? There's only one episode that the Torah tells us. He made wine and became drunk, and that's it. That was the only thing he did. Why did he become drunk? Well, to have witnessed the destruction of the world isn't a simple thing. It must have left an enormous, a very deep impression upon him, and he couldn't take reality. He needed some drug in order to get out of reality. That was what he did. What happened to Abraham when he had a catastrophic event? What was the catastrophic event in Abraham's life? It was the death of his wife, Sarah. Sarah wasn't just a wife. Sarah was next to him in whatever he did. Our rabbis say that Abraham taught men about the existence of one God, and Sarah taught the women. She was very active at the side of Abraham. She was his second hand. She was as important as he was. According to our rabbis, she even had a higher level of prophecy than Abraham. What did he do after she died? Well, the first thing he did was to look for a place of burial, and he bought a place of burial, the first property the Jewish people acquired in the land of Israel. And then he worried about getting his son married, Isaac. It was very important for him to be married in order that there be continuity of the message, this monotheism, the existence of one God that Abraham had preached. You needed somebody to continue with that. After having done these two things, burying his wife, making sure that his son gets married, he himself married again. He married a woman by the name of Keturah, according to the Bible. Some of our rabbis say she is the same Hagar, who was the maid servant of Sarah. And he lived 175 years and had 6 additional sons. Sarah was 10 years younger than Abraham, and she died when she was 127. That means that Abraham lived after the death of Sarah 38 years, and he still had children. He did something. So what is the difference between Abraham and Noah? A difference is also what Noah did after a catastrophe and what Abraham did after a catastrophe in his life, which was the death of his wife. I think that we all go through some difficult periods in our life, maybe a tragic event. Some just don't know what to do, how to react when something catastrophic happens to them. And they don't know what to do. Others think, just a moment, this is over. I have to look for a new path. I have to do something different. People stop working at age 65, 70, and then they don't know what to do. There are others that start to become a volunteer in some institution. They look for different things that they can do in order to start all over again. I always thought that people who know how to adapt themselves to a new situation really show they have a greater degree of intelligence. It depends how you react in front of a challenge. What are you going to do? Are you going to just cross your hands and you don't know what to do? Or maybe you will do something. There is a positive result of the exodus that the Jewish people suffered during the Middle Ages from all Europe. Every country expelled its Jews. I think Poland was the only one that did not. The most famous one, of course, from Spain in 1492. What happened to the Jews that went to another country? Well, they had to adapt themselves. They had to learn a new language. They had to learn new customs. They had to adapt themselves to an environment that was really strange to them. Well, did these expulsions mark the end of the Jewish people? Not at all. I think it revitalized them because it made them more cosmopolitan, more universal. History doesn't finish. There are always new possibilities. It depends if you have initiative, if you have creativity, if you are strong, if you take chances. I think that most of us are much more intelligent than we think we are. I think most of us have many more resources than we think we have. It's only when we face challenges, when we face obstacles that we think that are impossible to overcome, we realize that we have an inner strength that we have not utilized until that moment. So bear in mind, if something catastrophic happens in your life, it's not the end. There's always some way in which you can overcome, mitigate a little bit. I'm not saying that there won't be any pain. Of course there will be pain. But you will be able to start anew. You will be able to reinvent yourself in a new path in your life.